All right, here we go. This is the close of week three. I'm actually making this in the middle of the day and not the close of Thursday like I intended to do. My wife and I are going out of town for this weekend, so I will not be around tomorrow to edit this video, so I will be doing this tonight, Thursday night. So I'm actually taking a snapshot of about midday. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. So the market can move a little bit more, but for the most part, it's a pretty good representation. So this is the Thursday update each week where we're going to see how we're just doing on this account. So I put in the numbers and we'll go through that, and then I'll just talk a little bit about the business startup, and then the business acquisition. All right, so again, how are we doing from all the way from the beginning? And I'm working on just a better weekly tracker so we can see change week to week. So again, we started with 100, around 112,000. Right now we're about 114,500. So that represents about a $2,600 change over this third week that we're now tracking in. And that's a 2.3% change. That's pretty good. One of the things I intended to do for today as well is come up with what my goals are for each month and for this whole thing. I just don't really have those nailed in yet, but I can tell you right now, ideally, I would make $3,000 to $4,000 a month in the market with the amount that I'm capital that I'm trading, and that would put me around 3.5% monthly growth, and that would be phenomenal. I mean, that's not going to be I would not be able to replicate that every month. It really right now is just a result of the market doing really well. So the market's doing really well. A lot of my stuff is in just normal market accounts, so that's going to be doing really well. But the intention is when the market slows down or pulls back or flatlines, we have other ways to make money. That's what the options are for. So let me just go through some things that we've done this last week. So in terms of just learning, I'm just continuing to learn. I haven't honestly, I've been working so much on this business startup stuff. I haven't had a ton of time to do a lot more learning, but right now I'm just still following, watching pretty much every video from Options with Ryan. He's phenomenal. I'd go follow him if you're interested in that. And I'm still looking for some good stocks to continuously get in and out of with cash secured puts. And consistent with my theme of just moving some money out of just standard 4% annualized return money market funds. We're going to put it into, we're dollar cost averaging into the market, where if you go look at a video I made a couple days ago, you'll see that the market on average returns around 12% per year. But you got a dollar cost average, and you got to be in it for the long haul. So basically, this is just taking our emergency savings profile from around 50,000 to more around 20 or 25,000, putting the other 20 to 25,000, other 25,000 to 30,000 in a total stock market fund. And we'll look at that here in a second. So, but right now I'm doing that slowly. The worst thing you could try and do is time the market. So I'm just putting $1,000 a day until I hit my target, and I've been doing it every single day. I was finally able to sell off 5 of my meta positions. It's around $700 a share. I think it closed at like 760. Either way, when my position went up green, I think it was up $10 or something. I got out of that, and the reason again is I'm trying to move money over to the options account, because again, remember, when you trade options, you have to do it in 100 share blocks. So I'm getting out of some of my smaller positions where I may have only 10 stocks here, 5 stocks there, moving them into my options where I can trade larger blocks. And so anyway, what I did this week, basically this morning, was I did a couple more cash secured puts. I bought one for bit mining, which is BMNR, at 37.50, and that expires in a couple weeks. And then collected a premium of around $47 for that. So basically, somebody paid me $47 to buy that option from them, and I did the same thing on SoFi. I'd bought another one at SoFi. I actually have one expiring tomorrow at $24 with SoFi, so that'll free up some capital. I'll show you here in a little bit. But I did another, and I went out all the way to March 20th, 2026. And I'll explain kind of what that means here in a little bit. But in order for me going that far out, by me willing to pay for this stock at $24 a share, which it's trading more than a couple of dollars more than this today, somebody was willing to pay me a $324 premium. So what this basically means, I'm not going to get into options extensively, but this just means that I'm willing to buy 100 shares of BMNR at $37.50. And if that price never goes down to $37.50, then ultimately this contract just expires. And the only thing that happened is I got that $47. So you're probably wondering, why would somebody pay me to give them this contract? Well, it's simple, because if the stock goes below $37.50, they will be able to sell it to somebody for 37. So let's say the stock goes down to $34. I still have to buy it for $37.50. So they are basically hedging that the stock will go down. I'm hedging that the stock will never go down to this within this time frame. And that's basically what a cash secured put is. It's buying an option. It's buying a put option that somebody can put these shares to you at a certain price, and they will pay you a premium to do that. So, and I'll show you what this looks like here on the charting here in a little bit. And that's what we've done this week for stock trading. And let's just round that out and show you what I'm talking about on the chart. So if I pull up Thinkorswim, what I'll do is I'll pull up SoFi, and basically you can see I've got a couple different options. One expiring this week, two expiring next week, I believe, and then one that goes all the way out to 2026. What that basically means is that I'm willing to buy this stock if it ever goes down to 24 bucks. But what I'm banking on with SoFi is that it will never come down to this $24. And even if it does, I'm okay with that. I'm okay owning this stock at $24 if it comes down to that, because I think that's still a good value. SoFi, its business is basically refinancing and consumer loans. If you think about the interest rates getting ready to potentially drop and have multiple drops over the next year, that benefits a company that offers a product like debt refinancing at lower rates. Mortgages, cars, personal loans, HELOCs, whatever it may be, this is their main product, and that's where they'll benefit. So that's why you see this big upward trend on SoFi. There's just a lot of bullishness on their performance once the rates drops. So that's why I'm in on SoFi. And BMNR, we talked about Bollinger Bands, but we didn't really get into it a lot. But let me BMNR and talk about what I can do. So BMNR is one that this is BitMine, and this is what I was talking about. They just extensively buy ETH. They're very bullish on ETH, and I'm not going to get into the reasons why in this video, but one of the things that my mentor is teaching me how to really do, and so we're going to hone in on this a little bit, is to follow these Bollinger Bands. So kind of his premise is that the stock will mostly trade up and down. It'll go up and down within this Bollinger Band right here. And these are just averages. And the method that he uses that I'm kind of latching on to is that if you feel like it bounced off the bottom of the Bollinger Band, then that would be a good time to set an option to say that I don't think it's going to come down to this $37.50 before it goes potentially back up, bounces off, and comes back down. So ideally what you do is you set an option that say, hey, I'll buy these at $37.50 if it ever gets down to that point. And his whole logic here is you can see this stock is bounces around in this Bollinger Band and it's on the way back up. So his strategy is do a cash secured put on the bottom of the Bollinger Band once it bounces off of it, or when it's trading at the bottom of the Bollinger Band, meaning it's going back up. I'll show you a really good example on SoFi. SoFi is actually trading at the top of the Bollinger Band. So this would be one that when you zoom in and you don't go look as far as I did out, by his logic, he would say, look, don't trade on this. So it's at the top of the Bollinger Band, which means it's going to bounce up and it's going to come back down. But if you can see how SoFi's been trading, it's really been trading bouncing up and down in the top of this Bollinger Band, which is making the Bollinger Band just trend upwards. But even with all that being said, this is a stock I am comfortable owning at $24 a share, which means if these get assigned to me, I'm going to own these shares. And then they may go down. But I believe that over time, they will continue to go up. So if I get assigned all these shares at 24, I'm okay with that because this is an upward trending stock. If we zoom back out, I think this company is well positioned for rate decreases, and I'm okay if this gets assigned to me at 24. I think this is a $30 or $35 stock over the course of the long haul. So that's what I did, and that's why I'm in on these. So, and that's basically kind of rounds out how the trading week not a lot of activity, just a lot of dollar cost averaging. So we'll take a quick look at the account, and it's roughly right where I put it. Again, this is going to change a little bit throughout the day, and that's okay. But you can see I'm continuously moving money out of this. I'll show you out of this emergency savings. I'm continuously moving stuff out of this money market account over into this Schwab total market account that I put out a video on a couple days ago on why I'm so bullish on that particular index fund. And then again, the same thing in the long-term investments. In the severance, we've talked about this in a couple of the first videos, but this just that hasn't cleared yet. That might be next on the September 15th, which would be my typical paycheck for that company, or it could be the 29th or 30th, whatever it is. But whenever that hits, we're going to put that in there, and we're going to track that as a capital infusion. But so far we haven't had to do any draws. And we haven't done any capital infusions. So taking a quick look at long-term investments, I had Meta in here as well, but I was able to get out of that. You can see Apple, Microsoft, and Nvidia on a total gain or loss, they're down. They might be up for the day. Nvidia's not, but it looks like Microsoft's teetering on being up for the day. Apple is, but on a total basis, I'm down 10 cents. I'm red. I'm not going to sell. But Nvidia, I don't even know if I'm ever going to get out of this one. I don't know that I want to get out of my Nvidia position. I'm really, really bullish on Nvidia. So, but Apple and Microsoft love these stocks, but I just don't have enough to really go in and out of options because you need 100. And so I'm going to get rid of these positions and probably go rebuy these in my options account. These three things, these three ETFs, chat, ETHA, and SPMO, they're all doing phenomenal. I'm not moving anything out of it. These are the big movers. So you can see just since I bought these about a month ago, that one of them's up 10%, one's up 5%, and one's up 3%. I mean, this is the majority of my gains right here. It's just these three indexes. So I'm just still bullish on these, and I'm going to continue to keep these. Finally, looking at the options account, we were able to put a little bit more in there. So what you'll see it shows us 13,000, but my buying power, if you go back to Thinkorswim and you look up here, and you probably can't see that, since a cash secured put is saying, like, basically what Schwab will do is hold the money that you bought this option for. So I'm not allowed to go spend that. So you can see my buying power of that 13,000 is really only 135 bucks. So it's all this money is basically tied up in these options until they expire. And I have one expire tomorrow. I have one expiring next week and the week after, and then I have one expiring in 2026, and then I have another one, two expiring on the 26th of this month. As soon as that expires, like tomorrow, if SoFi does not hit 24 bucks, which it will not, because we can look at the chart and see it's at 26 bucks. I doubt it's going to drop down $2.50 between today and tomorrow. And then this lot will free up, and I'll be able to restart the whole cycle over again. So that's kind of the intention, is just to keep rolling this money into new options that expire. And so that's pretty much it on the trading. So let's kind of dive into what else that we've been working on this week. Business startup. And again, this is something that I'm looking to do. I'm not going to talk about the business yet until I officially start it up, but we're moving fast on this. I've interviewed some candidates. I found a good person. I really only need one person to start with me. They are on standby. They know the full expectations of this startup, and they're interested in joining, and it would be more of a part-time role. Still working on the location details. Got some quotes on the renovation and what that would look like. But the most important thing, I'm working with the state regulations to see if I can even open this. I don't really see any issue, but I'm just trying to get those couple pieces locked up. Once I get that particular piece and I sign some leases on machines and location, then I'll start advertising like, hey, this is the business I'm starting, and I'll share that here. But right now, I'm just working through startup. So I published the website. I went live with my Google business site. I launched my online appointment capability. We've been doing daily posts on Instagram advertising that this business is opening in November. We've been doing an extensive social media outreach, and we've even booked our first appointment. I booked one appointment for November 8th. So if I start this whole business, I got my first customer, and I haven't even started the business. Something's weird with the Facebook page, so I'm kind of troubleshooting that. I finished up the logo, but after staring at it for a week, I'm just not a big fan of it. So the progress that I've made here, I'll probably turn it over to Fiverr, which is just an outsourcing capability with a bunch of different designers and different services and get them to kind of really polish the next version of it. So this is where a lot of my effort has been going, and making these videos. They just take time. So, talking to you guys and then editing and putting it out. So that's where we're at. And ideally, hopefully by next week, I'm able to share what this business is and the name and the website and everything. So, but and then business acquisition again. If you go back to one of my first videos, in addition to starting a business, I would love to buy a business for some passive income. Right now, I'm just going through training on that, and that's it. So I'm not really doing much of anything other than I'm not searching for businesses or anything like that. I'm just really going through the training of how to evaluate a business, and that's where I'm at. So that's this week's call, and I'll talk to you all next Thursday.